everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I am going to be continuing the TBR for October. You would have already seen that I did my Wonkathon TBR, but I have a whole lot more books that I would like to try to get in for October. Most of them is because I am participating in All Hallows Eve Carnival that is put on by the TBR and Beyond group, and this is their little prompt sheet that they have, and you'll see there's a lot of things going on. And so yeah, so this year they put this on, something on every like Halloween, and so if you're not part of that Facebook group, you should. I try to remember to link it below. And they like to do a Halloween one, and this one is called the All Hallows Eve Carnival, and it's a competition this go around, and there are 3 groups. There's the fortune tellers, the fire breathers, and the lion tamers, and I am going to be in the lion tamers. So there is a list of prompts. You cannot double up on any of these prompts, which breaks my heart a little bit, because then that means I have to read more books, right? So then there's bonus prompts if you want to do them, but you have to finish the main prompts first. And then there's activity prompts, and so for all of these prompts you get points, and so it's whoever's team has the most points at the end, their names get put in for a drawing, and I think they're going to draw out gift cards or something like that. I don't know, I don't remember, but it's just something that's fun that I like to do. I like that group, and so I like to try to participate. And so the prompts are: read a paranormal book. So for that I have, let's see, A Spell for Trouble by Leanne Dobbs. I'm wanting to try to get in a few kind of spooky, cozy mysteries. And this says that I've read this book on Goodreads, but I don't remember anything about it. And so I wanted to give it a try to see what it's about and to continue on with the series. I'm trying to do that with some cozy mystery books that I have read 1 or 2 in the past, but I never got any farther than that. I want to try to finish out the series, and so I'm going to give this one a go. I know Tiffany from the Beach Bum Bookworm, she thought this one sounded good, but she didn't know if it was going to be a little too spooky for her. So I told her if there was any paranormal books that she might want to try, that she's not quite sure if she wants to read because she doesn't like spooky stuff, that to let me know, and I would try them out for her to see if I thought they were too spooky. And so I'm going to read that one. And so yeah, I absolutely have no idea what it's about, but it's on there. The next is to read a group read or a buddy read. And so I am in the horror book club, which is a part of the TBR and Beyond group, and the group read for that is Blistered by Jeff Strand. And I don't know anything about this one either. You'll find that out with a lot of these. I just know that it's the group read, so or whatever, so I'm going to be trying it out. I like Jeff Strand. He writes kind of satirical horror, so a lot of times his are funny. Some people might not like his sense of humor, and so I'm a hit or miss with his. Like, I've enjoyed a couple of his, but I have not enjoyed a couple too, so I am a little curious about this. The cover is kind of gross. So, but here it is. It's kind of gross. And I think it's about a guy who goes camping, and there's a woman there, and I don't know, it's got something to do with blisters, and I don't know, but the cover looks gross. That's about all I know. Then the next one is to read a spooky middle grade, and for this one I am going to go with What Lives in the Wood by Lindsay Curry. I have a e-arc of this one from Sourcebook Kids. I got it from NetGalley, and I am overdue for reading this one because I think it came out a couple months ago, either last month or the month before that. I'm not sure, but I've enjoyed her books. I've read a couple of her books. I can't remember what the first one was. It was something about Peculiar Street or whatever. And then I read Scritch Scratched, which was the one from last year, and I really liked that one. That was probably my favorite that I've read of her so far. So I'm hoping that this one's going to be just as good. And like I said, I don't know what it's about. I mean, I have looked at the synopsis, but I cannot remember what it was. But that's fine. Like I said, I like this author, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy this. And it's a spooky middle grade, and I usually enjoy spooky middle grade books. So, and the next one is to read a book with a black and white cover. So, we are going to use this one, Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, for read a book with a black and white cover. So, it's good that I can fit this into 2 different TBR prompts. And then read a book that reminds you of your favorite Halloween movie. So I have in this The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. And it's we are doing 2 reads for the horror book club. It's kind of like a bonus one, buddy read type thing. And so I wanted to try to fit it in here somewhere. And it's from, I have an e-arc of it from Tor Books and NetGalley. So I'm really just trying to pop it in here. But I like slasher flicks. That's like one of my favorite kind of horror flick. And I think this was about a serial killer. I'm not sure. I mean, it talks about a serial killer in this blurb, but you know how sometimes, even though it might say something there, it could be something totally different. So I'm not necessarily sure if it will really fit this prompt. If not, I can always lean on Faithless by Hunter Shea, because it's about a priest, and I really, really enjoyed The Exorcist. That was a creepy movie. I didn't like the book so much. It was kind of boring. But the movie creeped me out. And I really like it, so I could fit that there. But so that's what we got for that anyway. And then the next one is to read a book with a lower Goodreads rating. I'm not necessarily a fan of this one, because why would I want to read a book that nobody likes? But I found a really short one. And it was on my bookshelf. So, you know, that's a bonus. So if I don't like it, I can unhaul it. But this is Dead Upon a Time by Elizabeth Paulson. I've had this for a number of years and just never got to it. But it's really short, and it had that going for it too. But it has a 3.17 rating on Goodreads, so that's not really good. I usually try to steer away from books that are under 3.5, so to me, this is a low Goodreads rating. And so yeah, I'm going to try that. Don't know what it's about. Over the river and through the woods to a killer's house we go. So anyway, it fits in with spooky time, so I thought that was cool. Then the next one is to read a book that was recently purchased or gifted to you, or that you borrowed. So I'm just going to go with Relic by Preston Douglas and Lincoln Child, since I just borrowed this from the library. You can see, got the library thing on there. So I'm considering that for that prompt. Then the next one is to read a horror thriller, or a horror or thriller book by a BIPOC author. And so, yeah, again, I have a hard time with this, because I want to actually like what I'm reading, and I didn't know of any, and I couldn't find any that I was super into. And so I looked up Native American authors, because I thought, you know, if I'm going to go with a person of color, I wanted to try Native American horror, because I don't know if I've ever read Native American horror. So I found this book, and it's called, I think it's called Crota. I think you'll see the picture here, but it's by Al Goingback. And I also like this because it was in Missouri, and I don't read a lot of books that are in Missouri where I live, so that was cool. It says, when the police of Hobb County, Missouri, finds a mutilated man's body on the side of a road, they figure a bear attacked him, except the bears aren't indigenous to their area. The local Indian tribe offers another explanation. Crota, a great beast of legend, has reawakened. As the body count increases, a hand-picked group of hunters stalk the mythical creature through an underground labyrinth, where they will discover a horror beyond all imagines, but all too real. So it sounds really cool. So I am hoping that I'm going to enjoy it. And then another one that I had a hard time with, and that was to read a book that people seem to either love or hate, and there's no middle ground. And I'm like, how do you find that kind of a book that there's no 3 stars or anything? I don't know. Maybe my brain was not working this well. But anyway, I am going with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Had to get the large print edition from the library because that's all we had. And it's very chunky and heavy. And it's not necessarily a book that I really care if I read or not, but I know a lot of people really, really like it. Sarah from the Bookish Knitter just read this recently, I think, and gave 5 stars. So it's a pretty popular book. And me and my friend Barb decided that we were going to use this for that prompt and buddy read it together. So, and all I know about this one is it's about a young woman who makes a pact with the devil or something to live forever. But the only drawback is that nobody remembers who she is. And so she goes like 300 years without anybody ever remembering her. And then all of a sudden a young man in a hidden bookstore remembers her name. So got that. I think I found the audiobook for it too. So that will help because, I mean, honestly, it's not really a book that was high on my want to reads. But it fits because I couldn't find anything else. And then the last book is to read a book with a spooky cover, and a lot of these books that I have on here could fit that, but I am going to go with Mine by Delilah S. Dawson because I have an e-arc of it that I need to get read, and it's from Random House and NetGalley, and it's a spooky middle grade, and look at that cover. It is creepy. So if I get those read, there is a bonus prompts that I can do that is to read a dark academia book and to read a book after dark. I don't know if I'm going to try those, but there is activity prompts, and I should have got this out beforehand, but it's to color the activity page. So I can listen to an audiobook and I can color and relax. And then it's to watch a spooky movie, and you have to show them, so you have to like take a picture of the movie that I'm watching, and then take a picture of you, your child, or pet in costume. And so maybe I'll dress up Dresden, my dog, because this gal ain't dressing up, so we might try that. But they're just like some activity prompts. And basically, you're supposed to try to get as much accomplished as you can because you want to get the most points for your team and everything. So hopefully we have some really good people on our team because, yeah, I've got a lot of books to read. And so I don't know if I'll make it through all the prompts. I'm going to try. But, yeah. And so I also am going to kind of loosely participate in Booktuber. It's hosted by Katie from Books and Things, Kate from Kate Howe, and then Lucy from Lucy the Reader. And there's a list of prompts and everything, and so I just didn't really pay attention to the prompts. Basically, it's just to read Victorian era books, and she mentioned this, one of the, I don't remember which one I was on, but anyway, one of them mentioned the picture of Dorian Gray as a Victorian book, and so since I'm already buddy reading this with Sherry, I thought I might as well loosely participate in Booktuber and read this. And I wanted to read their group read. I'm not huge on short stories and stuff like that, but Gothic Tales by Elizabeth Gaskell just sounded really cool, and so there's a picture, and I don't know anything about any of the stories. I just know it's about different Gothic tales. So I'm going to try to fit those in. I think I found an audiobook of the Gothic Tales. And also, if this is a big if I can fit it in, I would like to listen to, because one of the prompts it was to either read a book out loud or listen to a book on audio, but to have somebody read to you or whatever. So You either read out loud or somebody read to you or something like that. And so I'd like to listen to The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I've never read that, but I've always wanted to, and so I thought I would try it out. We'll see. If I have time. Because that's not all. Nope, that's not all. So a group in our Killing Time with Cozies Discord want to read A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Now, this originally started out with Ro asking me if I wanted to buddy read it with her because she only reads cozy mysteries. But before that, she used to read other books and stuff besides cozies. And she had this as a book that she wanted to read, and she had read some of it, and she remembered enjoying it. And since it's kind of spooky season, she decided she wanted to give it a try and see how it goes. So she asked me, because she knows that I liked it, if I would like to reread it and to read it with her. And then we mentioned it on one of the reading sprints, I think, or something. And a lot of other people were like, hey, I want to try it. So now we have like a group read going. So there's a group of us that are going to read A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I absolutely love this trilogy. It's probably one of my very favorites. And I absolutely love the TV show too, and I'm maybe obsessed with watching that a lot. There's only 2 seasons out yet, so I'm waiting for season 3. Stupid COVID. Anyway, this is about vampires, witches, and demons, and it's about Diana, who's a witch. But she doesn't like to use her powers and everything because it's what happened to her parents. And so she pretty much just tries to ignore that part of her life, and she is a scholar in Oxford, and she is actually a scholar of alchemy and everything, so she hasn't really left her witchy past behind too much because she's fascinated with alchemy. But one day she was researching, and she wants to read this one book. She calls it up from the Bodleian, and it happens to be a book that a whole bunch of people would like. The witches, not only witches, but demons and vampires have all been searching for this one book. And she actually called it up when nobody else can call it up. It spooks her. She sends it back through to the back, and then nobody can call it back up. And she can't even call it back up. And so it's kind of like, why do these people want the book? And it gets her involved with Matthew, the vampire. And it's a romance too, so it's a paranormal romance. And it's pretty much about them trying to keep her away from everybody that wants, because like everybody wants her to call up the book, and she's not really quite sure she wants to call up the book for all these other people, because why do they want it, and you know what's so important about it. And well, she doesn't know what it is really, because like I said, she got spooked by it, so she never really got to look at it too much. And so yeah, they're all after that, and it's really good. I really like it. And there are some people that don't like it, and that's okay. But I really like it. And I can't wait to reread it, even though I only read this book like a couple of years ago, I think. But that's okay. And I was supposed to start last month the European Travel for the Monstrous Gentlewoman by Theodore Goss, because me and my friend are buddy reading that. But I don't think either one of us got to it last month. So October is going to be the month, and we're probably going to read it in October and in November. So I would like to get a good chunk of it read in October. So we'll start that. All I've got is an ebook of it that I got on Overdrive, because my library doesn't have it. They have the first one, but they don't have any of the other ones. So yeah, and it's like 700 pages, which is why we're going to kind of spread it over October and November, because this gal can't read 700 pages in 1 month with all the other books that I've got to read. This ain't happening. And also, Killing Time with Cozies has a scavenger hunt prompts that they do. We have 2, and the first one is to read a book with dog on cover. Okay, so I have 2 books for this because I really want to read The Burglar's Ball by Julie Golden. It's a Jane Austen Investigates #2, and I have an e-arc from it from Lion Hudson and NetGalley, and I really, really want to read it. And if I remember right, Jane Austen in the first book, because it's a middle grade book, and it's about a young Jane Austen who likes to kind of get into trouble and mischief and investigate things. And she had a dog. And they said it had a dog on the cover or a dog in the book. So as long as there's a dog in the book. So, I'm hoping that when I read The Burglar's Ball by Julie Golden that it has a dog in the book. Because she had it in the first book. So that's like my first choice. Because I'd really like to read that. But if I do not find a dog in the book, then I do have my choice for a dog on the cover. And that would be Be My Ghost by Carol J. Perry. It's the first in a new series, and I forgot to write it down, so I don't know what the new series is. But I like Carol J. Perry's Witch City series. It's a mystery series, and so I am curious to see what this one's going to be about, since it's the first in the series. But there is a dog on the cover, so there we go. And then the next prompt was to read a fall or Halloween setting type, and I am going to go ahead and put A Spell of Trouble by Leanne Dobson here. But I do need to read also another book that would fit here for kind of spooky. And I forgot what the title was, and I didn't write it down. Bait and Witch by Angela M. Sanders, because my friend Barb wants me to read this series because she really likes it. It's a cozy mystery series. And there's only 2 books out in the series so far, so I'm not too far behind on it. So I would like to give Bait and Switch a try if I can fit it in. So we'll see. I think that's everything. Though, every time I look at like the review books that I have that I need to read, I'm like, oh, I want to read these. I want to read that. I want to read that. And I just can't fit them all in. So that's why I think November and December, I'm going to use it to catch up on all the books that I haven't got to read that I have for review. And just to kind of read whatever I want and be a seriously moody reader and just do what I want. Not participating in any readathons, no matter how much I want to. I'm going to make myself not do it. Unless it's maybe a Christmas one in December. But still. I mean, I'm going to read Christmas books anyway, so why do I need a readathon? So, I don't know. But anyway, this is all the books that I'm going to read, and like I said, it's very ambitious if you add these books and the Willy Wonka books to the Wonkathon books. So yeah, there's a lot of books. I do have a lot of audiobooks on here, so, but I do have a lot of ebooks and physical books as well. So we'll see how it goes. And hopefully I can get to them all. We'll see. Has anybody read any of these books? You know, let me know if you've read any of them, what you thought of them. You know, in the comments. Chat me up. I always like to chat with people in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.